Alright guys, we're back with another one, and this is the Poin2 Chromebook. This Chromebook is a budget Chromebook, and we're going to see right now if it's worth the price. Alright guys, so here we go with the Poin Chromebook. This Chromebook is a budget Chromebook, and it looks real familiar. So here's the logo, the Poin logo, and the Chrome logo right there prominent. This is a really grippy Chromebook, top and bottom, same material, feels very grippy. 4 feet going around, speakers at the bottom, stereo speakers, and it's a nice Chromebook, really nice Chromebook. When you look at the ports, you got your memory area, you have your USB, you have your headphone, you have your charging port, another USB, HDMI port. So you got all the ports you need, and it's a very light Chromebook. Feels good. If you look at the design of this Chromebook, you'll see it looks familiar to other Chromebooks. Now, I didn't wipe off the grease or anything like that because I wanted you to see it can pick up fingerprints in this area right here. So I definitely want to show you that. The screen, this is a very good screen. This screen seems like it's a LCD panel. It's a more glossier panel. I think it's a nice screen. Now, the trackpad, you can see it has a chrome around it that really adds a little bit to the look of it. I like that. Poin2 branding right there. I think it's a very nice looking Chromebook, especially for the price. So when it comes to the camera, this camera I would say is a 480p camera. This is above VGA. I don't believe it's a VGA camera. I would believe it's a 480p camera. It's very good. You're not gonna have no issues with this front-facing camera. It's better than most. Now, when it comes to the screen, let's just go into the screen. This is for $150. I'm impressed by this screen. Yeah, you're gonna have issues with the viewing angles, but the color representation is there. This has a punchy screen. For $150 Chromebook, I'll take this screen all day, man. This is a very good screen. A matter of fact, there's other Chromebooks that cost in the over 200 range that don't have a screen as good as this screen. This screen is on point. So now when it comes to the design of the Chromebook, which I should have covered earlier, I like the grip. I like the extra grip. I like the feel. It got all the ports you need. It's light. It's not heavy. And of course, for $150, you're going to use it with a little bit of reckless abandon because you're not that concerned about this dropping or breaking or anything like that. Now, no one is looking to break their Chromebook, but when you're paying such a little amount, you tend to treat it a little bit more rough. This is the Chromebook that you might want to lend out. This is the Chromebook if someone comes home, they want to use a computer. You're not going to give them your Windows. You're not going to give them, your more expensive Chromebook. This is the Chromebook you're going to give them. So this Chromebook is a definite good one. Now, when it comes to the keyboard, this is a very nice keyboard. This keyboard has it's very tap happy. So you're gonna hear it clicking and so forth, but it has nice jump back. It has a nice feel, but it's not a quiet keyboard, but it's definitely a nice keyboard. No issues with the keyboard at all. So if you're the type of person you like to type and you don't mind tap 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 tap, you'll be all right. You'll be all right because it's a nice keyboard. It responds very good. Now, when it comes to the trackpad, this is a nice trackpad. It has a little bit of feel to it. If you're tapping is very responsive. There's no wiggle at all. There's no wobbling at all with the trackpad. And when you click, it's a solid click. Now, the thing is, the click might be a little bit more stronger than other Chromebooks. So in other words, you gotta put some force into it to get that click. So that is good for someone like me who's a tapper. I like to tap. I don't like to click, to physically push it down and press. So if you're the type of person you don't like to press either, you'll love this Chromebook. But when you do press, you just put some extra energy into it and you'll get a response. Sometimes you won't, because you got to give some force to it. So, but it's a very adequate, very good trackpad, especially for this price. It's better than some trackpads on more expensive Chromebooks. So I'm very impressed by this Poin Chromebook. Now, here's the drawback. As impressed as I am about this Poin Chromebook, it's doing everything right. But, alright, so right now we're going to test out the speakers, and you'll get an idea of the punchiness of the screen.
Beautiful presentation. Simple and sweet.
2/3 of American adults are seriously overweight or obese. That's a 150% increase in just the last 30 years.
Look, check out the sound, guys. The sound of this Chromebook is better than most Chromebooks out there right now for more money. The speakers on this Poin Chromebook is on point. Crisp and nice for speakers that's underneath. It's very good. Alright guys, so when it comes to the battery life on the Poin2 Chromebook, it all is gonna depend on how do you feel comfortable with the screen and the screen brightness. Now you can see right here everything looks legible and it's at about 50-55%. But if you go on Poin own website, you tend to have a hard time reading the text, especially the brighter you put it. Let me get to the main site. You can see right there, you kind of have a hard time reading the text. It's a little washed out. So it all depends how you're going to want your brightness. For me, I tend to have it towards the middle on most of these Chromebooks, sometimes a little bit less depending on where I'm at. Normally I'm in a dark room, so I don't need the brightness so bright. So Poin is touting about 8 hours or so of battery life, but for me, I think you could eke out about, yes, eight and a half hours they're talking. So for me, I can only do about 6 hours with this particular Chromebook. I do a lot of video editing. I do a lot of stuff on my Chromebooks because that's all I use. I don't have a MacBook. I don't have a Windows computer. This is what I use, Chrome. So for me, I think the battery life is not an issue with any of these Chromebooks that's coming out now. They sort of got battery life contained, but I know a lot of people, they like their brightness really high. So I tout about 6 hours of battery life. If you keep your screen very, very low at the lowest possible setting, I don't know how anyone can work like that. So I don't see how you can get 8.5 hours. I touted about 6 hours. Processor. This is rocking the Rockchip processor with 2 gigs of RAM. Now, yes, very adequate processor for a $150 Chromebook. Yes. But man, when you got a screen like this, that is such a nice screen for a $150 Chromebook, it's kind of a shame that it has the Rockchip processor. Keyboard is very good and the trackpad is excellent. The build is nice and it's a definite good looking Chromebook. It is not a bad looking Chromebook. Now, yeah, you might have to wipe it down a few times because you're going to get some fingerprints. But man, if this had an Intel processor, I would love it with its 2 gigs of RAM. But if you're like me and you're doing a little bit more stuff, more intense than the average person, you're going to feel the difference with the RAM and that Rockchip processor But other than that, this is a great Chromebook. If it came with 4 gigs of RAM, I would say this is a steal at the price. This is really good. But for what this Chromebook is given for $150, this is a really great Chromebook. This is better than the Hair, in my opinion. And you know what? With the screen being so good, this might be better than the Walmart Hisense Chromebook. I'm telling you, because all those 3 Chromebooks is rocking the same processor. The Poin2 is on point. They should have called this the On Point 2. This is a badass Chromebook for the price. And if you're looking to get a Chromebook, don't hesitate. If you don't want to spend a lot of money and $150 is in your price range, you'll never regret making this purchase of the Poin2 Chromebook. It is worth the price. See you guys in the next one.